Welcome into the Stroh Center here in Bowling Green, Ohio. It is the Hampton Inn Bowling Green Invitational Tournament. We're a little bit off to a rocky start here, but this is an exciting time to be a Falcons fan. I am Adam Gaw, along with Zach Smith of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. Zach, welcome on board for this exciting matchup.
Thank you, Adam. Great to be here in the beautiful Stroh Center. Bowling Green won this morning. Let's hope they finish the day off strong.
Yeah, the Bowling Green Falcons off to a strong start with a 3-0 victory over University of North Carolina, Charlotte. Tonight they are playing Butler. Of course, they have beat their last game. Tomorrow is versus Cleveland State. That is at 2 p.m. as they get the starting lineups rolling here in the Stroh Center here in Bowling Green, Ohio. And for the starting lineup for the Butler Bulldogs, we got number 4 setter Megan Ramseer. I'll do the best I can with what I got here. Okay, there we go. And we got number 7 Michaela Wright. We have number 9 Anna Logan. We have number 12 Brooke Gregory. We have number 14 Elizabeth LaBou. And we have number 16 Melody Davidson. That is the starting lineup for the Butler Bulldogs. For the Bowling Green Falcons. For the Bowling Green Falcons, we have number 3 setter, 5'10" senior from Lambertville, Michigan, Isabel Marciniak. We have number 6, the outside hitter and freshman. We have Petro Androva. We have number 7, Lexi Sauber, the freshman middle blocker from Ohio. We have number 11, Caitlin Meyer, the sophomore from Pemberville, Ohio, the outside hitter. And we got number 15, the libero, Julio Walls from Brooklyn, Ohio, the sophomore. We have number 17, Katie Kidwell, the middle blocker, the junior from Watseka, Illinois. And finally, we have number 18, the outside hitter, 6'1" junior from Louisville, Kentucky, Jacqueline Askin. That is your starting lineup for these two teams here tonight. But they're still introducing the Falcons here on the left side. The Falcons are dressed in their orange tops and black bottoms, as the Butler Bulldogs are in all blue with the white trim down the sides here tonight. Bowling Green, the 2-time defending MAC regular season champions. Head coach Danielle Tomich in her 8th season has really brought this program to high places. Again, they are back-to-back regular season champions of the conference. They're coming off the Golden Dome Invitational. Zach, you were there for that. How did they look there?
Well, I got to say, Adam, they started off really strong. They swept the Wright State Raiders on Friday night, I believe it was, beating them 3-0. They looked really, really strong out of the gate and went up to play the LaSalle Explorers on Saturday morning. That was a 10 a.m. start. They looked really strong, and then it started to sputter just a little bit for them. And then they lost to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish 3-1 on Saturday night. And I'll tell you, it looked like they were just a little bit gassed. But I think after a good week of practice, Coach Tomich is going to have them ready to go for this game.
Danielle Tomich, arguably the premier coach of this conference. We're ready for some volleyball, aren't we, Zach?
Oh, absolutely, Adam. You see the officials shaking hands, both teams going out there, high-fiving, just ready to get this game going. Both teams are looking to get a good start going off here, especially these Bowling Green Falcons, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. They came out and they won this morning, sweeping, they swept the Charlotte 49ers 3-0. Started the weekend off right. They did this last weekend too. But let's see if they can really keep this hot streak going and look to take a 3-2 record on the season.
What I've been told, they played as good as you could possibly get versus University of North Carolina, Charlotte this morning against the 49ers. Still the same day. I predict that we're going to see some pretty good ball here out of the Falcons today against the Butler Bulldogs as well.
I'd have to agree, and especially last week, they were really, really relaxed, and Coach Tomich was all about getting these players to be in a calm state of mind and just to get back to playing what they can control. And so far, just sitting over here on the side with you in Media Row, Adam, I see a lot of smiling faces over there. and they all look really relaxed and at their best.
Falcons are still concentrated and focused with that bird eye focus. This is going to be the attack led by, looked like it was Caitlin Meyer. That went too far out of the back end of the Butler side. So Butler with the opening point to start this game.
You got to like that intensity, though. And I saw it a lot last weekend at the Golden Dome Invitational. It all started with Petra Androva and Caitlin Meyer on those kills.
Megan Ramsay on the serve. This is going to be the attack setup for Caitlin Meyer on the right side. This is going to be dug out by the Bulldogs. Set up the attack for number 7, Michaela Wright. This is going to be dug out nicely by the Falcons. Sets it up for number 6, Petra Androva, the freshman. The attack for the Bulldogs. That was a misplaced attack there by the Butler Bulldogs, particularly by Megan Sheridan.
And that all was started, though, by Caitlin Meyer. Caitlin Meyer and Petra Androva are amongst the leaders of this team in kills.
Yes.
And it's going to be really interesting to see how it is they can handle it tonight.
Kayla Meyer coming in with the experience, and Petra Androva just really impressing real early. And the Butler Bulldog attack there works on Isabel Marciniak, just out of her reach there. Going cross court on the attack, close to the net. Now this is going to be Anna Logan, the senior from Indianapolis on the serve. This is going to be the attack led by Isabel Marciniak, it looked like, but it was blocked. Falcons couldn't get back over the net, and Butler with a 3-1 lead starting out.
And you see just a little bit of sloppy play here by these Falcons while they're still trying to just find their roots and get back to what it is they can do.
Yeah. This is going to be dug out by Paulina Acabelli. This is going to be Butler possession now, face off at the net. And it's Butler possession now again. This is going to be dug out by Marciniak. And the attack set up for Jacqueline Askin. It's going to be dug out by Elizabeth LeBeau. Sets up the attack chance by Sheridan. And the Falcons are somehow able to keep that above ground. But in the netting violation, it looked like Butler comes out on top with the 4-1 lead.
And it's just a little bit of a lack of communication. I don't see a lot of it going on out there. And it might just be that I can't really hear it over this headset, but I just don't see a lot of communication.
Marciniak sets up the attack for Jacqueline Askin. This is going to be dug out nicely by the Bulldogs. Face off at the net, and Marciniak couldn't get that one again. So now Butler with the strong, fast 5-1 lead, and the Falcons just really look out of sync right now.
And it's all being led on the Butler side by Melody Davidson. As you watch her go down for those kill attempts, she just goes straight down.
Falcon attack now. This is going to be a missile shot by Petra Androva on the right-hand side. And that was coming down like a rocket.
Oh, absolutely. We saw this last week, too. She had 35 kills through last weekend. 35 kills to lead the team.
As a freshman. Julia Walls on the serve now. Butler was not a pretty dig by the Bulldogs, but they were able to get the attack on the back left-hand side of the Bowling Green side just inbounds. And Butler taking the momentum right back with a 6-2 lead now.
3 steps forward, 1 step back, unfortunately, for these Falcons.
That's Aya Cabelli with the dig there. It's Petra Androva's blocked this time by the Bulldogs. A great block by Michaela Wright. 7-2, Butler.
You got to imagine, though, that hurt a little bit coming off the hands of Petra Androva.
Oh, yeah. The amount of power that she puts into her hits. Bulldog serve now by Elizabeth LeBeau. This is going to be dug out by Acabelli again. And we get a violation here. Butler scores again. Now it's 8-2. A little bit of miscommunication on the Falcons side there. And now head coach of the Falcons, Danielle Otomich, is going to take her first timeout pretty early in this first set, Zach.
Oh, yeah, and not the best of ways to start off this set as we unveiled the regular season championship banners over just before this game started, as that is one of the big things we are celebrating here tonight at the Stro. However, the Falcons just looked a little out of sorts as they've only had 2 digs. Their attack percentage is not all that good as the Butler Bulldogs are attacking at about a .375 average.
Yeah, the Falcons kind of look out of sync right now. It's up to head coach Danielle Otomich to get things in order, and she's certainly the coach to do it.
Absolutely there, Adam. And I think it all starts with the leadership at the top with senior Isabel Marciniak. She out of Lambertville, Michigan, the setter. It's her team. She's the senior on this squad, the senior starter, and I noticed a lot last weekend at the Golden Dome Invitational. Anytime this team was really struggling, she and Coach Tomich would get together and just communicate a little bit what it is she thinks she can do. And looking over there right now, you see nothing but smiles and high fives as this team just looks to get hyped up.
This is still early on in the match, and like you said, you were talking about the senior leadership. I mean, they just lost one of the best Falcons in the history of the program, Callie Simon, a huge hole to fill, and now looking for new senior experience to this Falcon team, and they're able to get it.
Absolutely, and it's only just beginning in the first set.
Still 8-2 Bulldogs here in the first set here in Bowling Green, Ohio. This is Androva again with the strong attack, and that's Katie Kidwell sending it right back over the net. 8-3, Butler leads here in the first set.
And it looked like Kidwell thought about going and slamming that down, but saw it was just short of the net and decided not to try.
Just take the ball and lay it over. This is going to be Kirsty Shaw, the junior from Brazil, Indiana, on the serve. Just barely gets it over. Butler wasn't ready for that one. It's Falcon possession now. Sets it up for Katie Kidwell, who puts a light touch over the net. Butler responds with the attack from number 13, Megan Sheridan, and the Falcons couldn't get a handle on that one. That was Kirsty Shaw. The ball went off of her, and it's now 9-3 Butler.
And it was a good defensive attack on Butler there, just managing to dig that out. Great place serve there by Kirsty Shaw, but unfortunately, the ball was put right back to her, and it just got off of her arm.
Megan Sheridan again with the serve. This is dug out by Julia Walls, and Marciniak sets it up on the attack for Askin. This is going to be dug out by LeBeau, setting out the Butler attack with Michaela Wright, and that was, again, Kirsty Shaw. Not much she could do there. That was out of her reach, diving forward for that one.
And the Falcons just look a little bit out of sorts.
10-3 Butler leads here in the first set. Megan Sheridan on the serve. This is dug out by Kirsty Shaw. It's going to be set the attack for Katie Kidwell, and puts way too much on that one. That's through the back end of the Butler side. Now it's 11-3, and Butler really taking it to the Falcons so far.
Well, you see just a little bit too much on that one by Katie Kidwell, but she turned, asked the ref. She thought it was right on the line.
Kirsty Shaw on the dig again. Marciniak just sends it right over on the deception move, and Butler was not ready for that one at all. And the Falcons get the much-needed point there.
Absolutely, and we see now with Caitlin Meyer checking in, you see a little bit of aggressiveness that Coach Tomich is going with, just trying to keep her Falcons in and get a little bit of momentum on their side.
Jacqueline Askin on the serve. It's going to be dug out by the Bulldogs. Sets up the quick attack by number 12, Brooke Gregory. Dug out nicely by the Falcons. Caitlin Meyer on the attack, this time going cross court. Butler gets a chance at it going down the middle. This is Kirsty Shaw digging it out. Marciniak sets it up for Caitlin Meyer again. They'll put them a chance. Dug out nicely by number 14, Elizabeth LeBeau. Face off at the net. It falls down on the Butler side. And the Falcons get another point there, making it closer. Still 11-5 Butler, but any point counts.
Absolutely there, Adam. And going back to this Invitational last weekend, there was a lot of spurts where Bowling Green was just going nuts as we see this serve by Askin. Knocked almost out of bounds, but kept alive by Butler and just sent over.
And the Falcons now get a shot at it with Caitlin Meyer. This is dug out by LeBeau. That one goes sky high before landed back down. It's now Falcon possession. This is Marciniak setting it up for Caitlin Meyer. You can see the momentum start to go back the Falcons' way. And Kirsty Shaw with a diving dig goes back to the Butler side, but Butler comes out on top on the netting violation, it looked like. Now it's 12-5 Butler.
But the big thing that I was getting at there, Adam, was they went on a lot of runs, Bowling Green, and it was only doubled up there by a few points by the other team. And I think we'll see that again tonight.
Marciniak set up with the attack from Katie Kidwell. Puts too much on that attack. A couple of miscues from Katie Kidwell early.
Just a little bit too much mustard on that one there, Adam.
13-5 Butler with the lead here in the first set. This is dug out by Kirsty Shaw, goes right back to the net, and that on the deception move, Butler sent it right back over, 14-5. And it's been close to one-sided this first set here.
The other big thing to notice, looking over at some of these boards, the Bulldogs have 6 assists in this game, the Bowling Greens 2.
And the Falcons, the Butler Bulldogs rather, on the service error there, that one goes through the back. Katie Kidwell, is on the serve now for the Falcons. Julia Walls coming out of the game. Looks like in favor of Taylor Haberland. This is dug out by Kirsty Shaw. Sets up the attack for Caitlin Meyer going cross court. Dug out by LeBeau. Sets up the attack for Megan Sheridan and puts it right where no Falcon was on the back left corner of the Falcon zone. 15-6 Butler.
And you just see the communication and just how clean the Butler Bulldogs are playing right now. And it looks more like Bowling Green is just trying to get a read for these Bulldogs.
Marciniak sets up the attack for Caitlin Meyer. That one goes off the hands of Brooke Gregory. And it's Butler miscue there, just as you were bringing up how clean they were playing.
Oh, absolutely. And there's that smoothness that we're trying to see there. It's that good defense leads to better offense is the saying that goes in most sports. And volleyball is no exception. And I think that's what the Bowling Green Falcons are trying to get back to.
Now Butler possession, face off at the net. And that is dug out nicely by the Falcons. Sets up the attack, face off, another face off at the net. And LeBeau sets it up for another face-off. That one is tipped and goes through the back of the Falcon zone. That will count as a Butler point. So we're starting to see some face-offs, matchups at the net.
We're starting to see it, and the Falcons are just mistiming their jumps just a little bit, getting just a little too little on it.
Dug out by Caitlin Meyer this time. Marciniak sets up the attack for Petra Androva. Butler comes right back with Megan Sheridan, who gets the kill there in the middle of the Falcon zone, where no Falcon could get it. And now head coach Danielle Otomich of the Falcons is going to call her second timeout of this set. Second out of 2. It's now a 10-point Butler lead. Not much going right for the Falcons so far right now.
No, not at all. And looking at it, they're just trying to recover a little bit. And it gets to a point where there's only so much recovering you can do. Again, it's only for set 1 of the first game here at the Stroh Center. But for the Falcons, Coach Tomich needs to right the ship, and she needs to right it quickly.
Needs to do it quick. We're still in the first set again. Now, it's a lot different than being down 0-2 like we saw in the last game that we just covered here on Mixler, the BGRSO, with University of North Carolina, Charlotte, and Cleveland State. Again, Falcons are good enough to come back, even down 10, 17-7.
Oh, absolutely. And it's still, you have to get to 25 points regardless.
Yes.
So this game isn't over by any means, but it's an uphill battle. But if I've seen enough of volleyball so far this season, at the Golden Dome Invitational especially, there's still a lot of volleyball to be played, and these Falcons can do it.
Non-conference is the time to see where your flaws are and try to get your groove on. Like try to smooth things out. This time of the year to do it is non-conference play. You obviously want to win each game, but you obviously want to get that playing experience to see what adjustments you want to make before getting into conference play.
Exactly.
Going against teams like Miami, Toledo. So now we're back at play here. This is Butler possession here. Another face-off at the net. And this is Julia Walls, Caitlin Meyer, who puts too much on that one. It's her turn to make an attack error there. Now Butler, coming out of that Bowling Green timeout, gets the point, Zach.
And we'll see what these Bulldogs come out of their timeout with as well.
Bulldogs have not used a timeout so far. They still have both left to spend. And another kill for the Bulldogs. That one went between, looks like Marciniak and Walls. Butler's just clicking, and Bowling Green has yet to get there.
And it's going to be interesting to see, especially what adjustments can be made.
Caitlin Meyer on the dig there. Marciniak, they're going to have to give the Bulldogs a free possession here. The attack set up for number 9, Anna Logan. Another kill for the Bulldogs, 20-7. They are more than doubling up the Falcons, a chance to triple them up on the next one.
And it just looks sloppy. Just a little bit. But the Bulldogs are placing these balls just exactly where the Falcons can't reach them.
Caitlin Meyer on the attack. That one's blocked at the net. Falcons get another chance at it. That was a miscommunication there. Lexi Sauber tried to get that one. Mishandled it. Now it's 21-7, and it's not looking good.
No, it is not, Adam, but it's all about the adjustments.
Haberland on the dig this time. Marciniak just tries to send it over, but the Bulldogs were absolutely ready for that one.
And we saw a little bit of this breakdown against Notre Dame last weekend, where the Falcons came out strong and then it just all dwindled away. So you wonder if that earlier game has an effect on them at all.
Caitlin Meyer on the attack there. That one bounces off a Bulldog at the net, and the Falcons, after 10 serves now, are able to finally get a point. It's 22-8. This is all Butler here in this first set. Here in the Hampton Invitational here in Bowling Green, Ohio. This is Paulina Icabelli on the serve. This is dug out nicely by the Bulldogs, sets up the attack chance. It's blocked at the net by looked like Androva, but the Falcons could not get a handle on that one after the block. It's 23-8, and the Bulldogs are crawling up to that 25 marker.
And Butler's putting a lot of emphasis on their defensive play. A lot of blocks by this team, just stopping any kill attempt by the Falcons.
Icabelli on the dig. Askin sends it back over. Bulldogs set up the attack for number 7, Michaela Wright. That one goes sky high on the dig. Askin sends it back over. Butler struggles to a little bit to get a handle on that one, but they are able to recover, and on the attack error, sending that one too far through the back end of the Falcon zone. It's 23-9 now.
Another big thing is limiting all these errors. See a lot of them on the Bowling Green side, and the key is to not hurt yourself.
And that one is badly dug out by the Bulldogs by Anna Logan. Mishandled that one. It's still 23-10. The Bulldogs are committing some errors, but they still have the comfortable lead.
Absolutely. It's still a 13-point game.
Julia Walls on the serve now. Over the net. Dug out by Logan. The attack set up for the Bulldogs. This is BGSU possession. Marciniak set up the attack. Face off at the net. This is Butler possession here. This is Michaela Wright who gets a shot at it, but again, she puts too much on it. And now the Bulldogs are now shooting themselves in the foot with 3 straight errors.
Oh, yeah, and it's all about not committing those errors. It's all about not shooting yourself in the foot and playing the game that you can control.
Julia Walls on the serve again. That was almost another error that time on the dig, but the Bulldogs had another chance at it. This is Katie Kidwell. Now Marciniak setting up for Androva. And again, the Bulldogs can't handle that one again. So now it's 23-12. Let's see where this one goes.
4 straight points by Bowling Green, and it's all coming out of the hands of Julia Walls.
And I imagine if the Bulldogs make another error here, they're going to take a timeout. And they exactly what they do. A miscommunication on the Butler side. And it's exactly what happened. They take their first timeout. 4 straight errors on the Bulldogs side. And the Falcons, it's still a 10-point game, but they're crawling back up thanks to the Bulldogs.
It's 5
miscues.
Straight points by Bowling Green, led by Julia Walls, the libero, the sophomore. She's trying to fill some big shoes from the senior who graduated last year. And so far, she's looking good, helping to lead these Falcons on just a little bit of a rally. And it's all starting with the fact that the Falcons are not committing errors. It's all coming from the Butler side. And this timeout, I'd imagine, is, hey, let's stop committing errors.
Yeah, this still have 50 seconds left here on this timeout. The Falcons have spent both of their timeouts. The Bulldogs still have 1 left. Again, the Bulldogs are only 2 points away from that set victory. Here in the first set here, the Falcons are already ready to go with 35 seconds left. Butler is going to take up as much time. They're about to break the huddle here with 30 seconds left. An early breakup of the huddles here at the first time out. And Butler's still with a double-digit lead. And they just have to not be committing the errors.
Absolutely.
They're only 2 points away.
And with Bowling Green, they're taking advantage of these errors. They're putting these Butler Bulldogs on their heels. The Falcons got a good punch in the mouth, but they're trying to stay standing.
Julia Walls on the serve now. This is dug out by the Bulldogs, sets it up, the attack. Katie Kilwell on the block. Butler possession still. Tries to send that one over the net, but still Butler possession. And that was Marciniak who could not get that one. So now the Bulldogs, after giving up 5 straight points, they're now on the set point, 24-13. Here's a serve by Butler. It's Akabeli on the dig. Looks like it's Petra Androva who gets the kill there on the right-hand side.
And just great job there by Petra Androva, putting the hammer down and letting the Butler Bulldogs know that she's still there. And you see that high five over there by Coach Tomich.
Kirsty Shaw will serve for the Falcons. Still on set point. Butler with the set point. And almost a miscommunication there, but Butler able to get it back over. This is going to be Jacqueline Askin who tries to float it back over. It's going to be a face off the net here. Marciniak sets it up for Jacqueline Askin. That's off of Butler Bulldog, and the Falcons are now within single digits. Still set point for the Bulldogs, 24-15.
And they're just trying to keep up in this race here. In a race, it's all about endurance. How long can you go? And the Falcons are testing the Bulldogs' endurance here. Falcons
are starting to get some distance on their flying height. And that is Katie Kidwell on the block. 24-16.
These Falcons aren't giving up yet. It's only about an 8-point game now, if my math is correct.
Kirsty Shaw will serve again for the Falcons. Still set point for Butler. Sends it over the net. It's going to be face off with the net. That is the quick kill there by the Falcons. 24-17.
And they're still roaring back. Butler's been within a point or two for the past couple minutes here, and it's been another 4-point run here by the Falcons.
Crowd is starting to get into it a little bit here in Bowling Green. The Falcons, the host team of this tournament. And that's going to be dug out by the Bulldogs. This is going to be Kirsty Shaw who mishandled that one. And that is a Butler set victory. But I'll tell you what, Zach, they were looking good for those last 15 serves. I'll tell you what.
Oh, I have to agree with you, Adam. Over that span, 2 points for the Butler Bulldogs, 9 points for the Bowling Green Falcons over the past 12 or so serves. These Falcons were playing fantastic volleyball, and I think this is something that's really going to help build momentum going into set 2.
All right, you are listening to BGSU Falcon Volleyball here on Mixler.com. We will take a break here. We'll switch roles, Zach and I. Zach will bring the play-by-play commentary to you. On the other side of this break, you're listening to BGRSO coverage of BGSU Volleyball on Mixler.com.
Green State University here in Bowling Green, Ohio. We are here for the second set of the Bowling Green State University Falcons volleyball team taking on the Butler Bulldogs. I'm Zach Smith. I'm still joined here by Adam Gaw. We're going to switch it up a little bit here. I'm going to run play-by-play for a little while so he can catch his breath.
And speaking of switching up, we saw the momentum just take a total shift, almost a complete 180 in that first set, Zach. I mean, the Bulldogs were up to that 21-7 lead, and the Falcons just came storming back. I mean, the Bulldogs were still able to take the set, but the Falcons scoring 9 of the last 11, they were able to take it to them, and we'll see. I mean, this looks like this is going to be the Falcons set based off of what I saw at the end of that first one.
It was 23 to, I believe, 9, and within the last 11 sets, it went from it being a blowout of a first set to a 25-17 set. So we saw a lot out here for these Falcons. Out there right now, you have Askin, Sauber, Petra, and Drova. You've got Marciniak, Walls, the libero, and serving is Ika Belli, up and over. Dug out by Butler, set up and just out of reach for the Falcons, but it's going to be out of bounds. So the Falcons are going to get the first point here.
And the Falcons continuing to ride off of that momentum. And again, it's the Bulldogs' miscues that are bringing the Falcons back into this. And this is to start off the set. They're not climbing back up from behind.
Up and over by Ika Belli, but the Bulldogs were ready for that and set that ball just in front of the libero, Julia Walls, the sophomore. And it's all tied up here at 1 as we're going to see Megan Ramsayer serve it over there for Butler. Up, over, and right there to Ika Belli to dig it out. Over Askin with the kill attempt, dug out by the Bulldogs, just trying to save it, sends it over for a free ball. Walls digs it out. And set down by Petra Androva right into the arms of the Butler Bulldogs and goes right out of bounds as we see yet another hammer by Petra Androva, the freshman.
It's hard to contain the ball that's coming when it's Androva that's delivering the hit.
Julia Walls up, over, dug out by the Bulldogs. Set up and set down for the kill attempt, dug out by Walls. It was blocked by the net by Androva. Katie Kidwell with a nice little fake out move. Puts it right in front of the libero for these for these Bulldogs. It is 3-1 Falcons, and they're riding that momentum from last set.
Katie Kidwell on the deception moves. That's the ones that you don't see coming.
Absolutely. Julia Walls sends it over, dug out there by the Falcons. Great job there by Marciniak as the Falcons send it over for the Bulldogs to reset. Set over by the net just in front of Marciniak. Bulldogs point, but you see, Adam, we see a lot more of a fight out of here by these Falcons than we did in the first set.
Yeah, they've definitely gotten into this game. It definitely took a lot of serves to start getting into it, but they're into it now.
Dug out by Askin, set by Marciniak, back to Askin. Oh, blocked by the net by the Bulldogs, up, over, dug out by Marciniak. Set up by Walls, over to Askin again. Dug out yet again, though, by the Bulldogs. Dug out by Ika Belli, set by Marciniak, and Katie Kidwell gets blocked at the net, but dug out by the Bulldogs. Yet another dig by Julia Walls. Petra Androva, instead of the hammer, nice little feather touch and gets it right down in front of the net, in front of the Bulldogs. 4-2, Bowling Green.
And the Falcons did not lead at any point in that first set. They got the 4-2 lead now, and the crowd's into it now. That makes it doubly as hard.
And you see quite a few students here, as well as the Charlotte 49ers to our right here. And you see Cleveland State to the left, as both these teams will be playing again tomorrow here at the Hampton Inn Bowling Green Invitational. Sent over by Shaw, dug out by the libero for the Bulldogs. Blocked at the net! Isabel Marciniak and Katie Kidwell send it back and say, no, not in my house.
Not in the Falcon house.
Not at all, not here in the Falcons' nest. Kirsty Shaw back yet again to serve. Sent up, over, in, dug out, and it's gonna come right out here in front of Media Row, right in front of me and Adam here. And the Falcons are on a nice little run here, putting up yet another point, 6-2 Bowling Green.
That's the fun part about this sport, is that the ball can seek you out at times, being on Media Row.
Kirsty Shaw serving right to left on your media dial. Dug out, though, by the Bulldogs, sent up over for a free ball. Ika Belli digs it out. Marciniak asking just a little too strong, but they're going to rule tip at the net by the Bulldogs. Point Falcons, 7-2. And Adam, I got to say, quite a hot streak going after that end of the first set.
This is a complete 180 of the start that we saw to the first set. This is almost as good as you can get if you're the Falcons.
Kirsty Shaw up, over. Dug out by number 7 of the Bulldogs, and right back to her for the kill attempt. Blocked by Kidwell. The libero goes, sets it up for number 4 for the Bulldogs. Just tipped at the net by the Falcons, goes out of bounds. It is 7-4 Bowling Green. Although that point didn't go their way, they're going on a nice little run here. Up and over by the libero, the Bulldogs goes over the head of Julia Walls and out of bounds. Yet another error we're seeing here by the Buffalo, or not, I don't know why I keep saying Buffalo. It is the Butler Bulldogs.
You got any friends in Buffalo? Did you go there recently?
No, my grandfather likes making Buffalo jokes, though. Askin up and over. Dug out by the libero of the Butler Bulldogs. Feather touch by the Bulldogs, dug out by Kidwell. Sent over by Meyer, tipped at the net. Score 9-3, Bowling Green Falcons. And you're going to see a timeout here by Butler, as it's a complete 180 from the way they started it, going and just absolutely dominating these Falcons in the first set. And now the Falcons after a nice little run to end the first set, comes back and they're up 9-3, and you hear the excitement from the crowd with that casual BGSU chant.
And the Falcons have definitely, we saw the momentum change at the second half of that first set. And this is exactly what we saw coming from the end of that first set. And now the Falcons are dominating now 9-3. They've gotten into that groove of coming off of that dominating victory earlier today. And the momentum should continue to ride, hopefully, for the rest of the game.
Little bit of stats here so far. 8 attack errors on the Bowling Green Falcons to 7 by Butler. 50 total attacks by Butler and 48 by Bowling Green. Yet, there's 3 aces on Bowling Green. So my question for you, Adam, is what's been the change? What do you think has happened between the start of the first set to where we're at now here in the second?
I think it was that second timeout that they took in that first set. And the Falcons made all the adjustments that they needed to. They just needed to get in sync a little bit. They had several hours off. They had several hours off in between games, so it's a different time of day. It might all just be psychological more than anything.
And it might just be also knocking a little bit of rust off of it too. But as with many sports, football, basketball, baseball, tennis, it's all about adjustments, and that's what's so pivotal about timeouts. So we're going to see what adjustments that the coach of Butler can make to go up against this flaming Falcons team, as it's sent up and over by Jennifer Askin, dug out by the libero, just sent over for a free ball, dug out by Walls. Marciniak to Meyer, tipped at the net, but dug out by the Butler Bulldogs. Saved by Kidwell, up by Meyer. Marciniak just sends it over for a free ball right in the corner, just out of reach of the libero. Number 14 is Elizabeth LeBeau for the Butler Bulldogs. And these Falcons are just clawing their way through right now.
Butler was expecting that to land out of bounds, but gravity disagrees.
Askin up, over, called off. Sent over, dug out by Shaw, but it's going to go right behind us here in media row as Butler is just trying to stay up here. We're going to see a substitution here. Jennifer Askin's going to come on out. We're going to see number 19, Taylor Haberland, come in and give Askin a little bit, or Jacqueline Askin a little bit of a break, not Jennifer. Up and over by Butler, dug out by Haberland, set up by Marciniak. Kidwell, nice little touch, tipped at the net, but goes down in front of the Bulldogs. And you see just a little bit of a wide eye here. You don't know what's going on.
Katie Kidwell, going airborne, taking Falcon height.
Walls is going to step out. The libero is able to go in and out without approval from the judges' table. Kidwell's going to send it up and over, sent over by the Bulldogs, but into the net. Yet another error we see here by these Bulldogs.
And now the Falcons have tripled up Butler after being doubled up in that first set.
Katie Kidwell back there, up, over, dug out by the Butler Bulldogs, set up, over, into the net. Marciniak's like, I didn't touch that. Point Falcons. 13-4 here as these Falcons just look 100% different from that first set, except for, of course, the last 12 or so serves. But the Falcons are looking great out here. Katie Kidwell, yet again, up, over, dug out by the Bulldogs, saved and kill attempt. Saved by Kidwell. Marciniak, nice little deception move. Isabel Marciniak just sets that ball in front of the libero LeBeau. And another timeout here for the Butler Bulldogs.
And putting that ball exactly where no Bulldog could possibly get it. You got 2 Bulldogs diving after it, and neither of them had a chance.
Absolutely. And what do you think she's saying over there in the Bulldog timeout?
Hard to know. Hard to know. I know that if you're the Falcons, you cannot take your foot off the gas. Never take your foot off the gas.
Coach Sharon Clark is over there with the Bulldog staff, just kind of questioning what her team is doing right now. We saw that run to end that first set, and it's been all Falcons ever since. Yeah. And over there, Coach Tomich is probably telling these girls, don't take your foot off the gas. As you said, Adam, we got to remain on the gas here. We got to stay in control of this game just to keep them out of it.
This is our house. This is the Falcons' nest, and no one will come in here and take us down. And we talked about Sharon Clark. In her 20th season with the program, she's the winningest coach in program history. got 12 winning seasons, 7 seasons with 20 more victories. So this is not a below average coach, Sharon Clark.
This is not a pushover team either. Look for these Bulldogs to come out and just do anything to stop this Falcon attack, because I tell you, Adam, if this Falcon team sticks around for the rest of the day, Butler may as well already pack their bags.
If they keep playing the way that they have been playing in this set.
The Bulldogs just seem to have no answer for these Falcons. On the court for the Falcons, you have Lexi Saber, Marciniak, Caitlin Meyer, Kirsty Shaw, Taylor Haberland, and Katie Kidwell back to serve. Ball up, over, dug out by Butler. Kill attempt blocked at the net by Meyer, just off of number 4 of the Bulldogs, Megan Ramsayer, and out of bounds. The Falcons just continue their dominance, 15-4 Falcons.
And it was coming out of that timeout. You could see it was all smiles on the Bowling Green sideline, while on the Butler side it was all straight faces.
And it's still all smiles over there as the libero, Julia Walsh, still is not back in this game. Katie Kidwell, though, takes a couple bounces, sends the ball up over. Dug out by the libero, LeBou. Set, kill attempt is not successful. Katie Kidwell digs it out, sent up. Meyer right over. Miscommunication by the Bulldogs, but they dig it out. And just out of reach of Haberland. They're going to rule in favor, though, of Bowling Green.
Going out of bounds.
Just out of bounds. And you saw the coaching reaction over there on the sideline as Coach Tomich was over there. You had assistant coach Alex Del Piombo and Allison Cook all saying, nope, that was out of bounds. But Buffalo, or I keep saying Buffalo, the Butler Bulldogs are going to challenge it, though, as we've got a stoppage in play.
We got a challenge here. They're going to review the last play.
But the other important thing with the challenges at this point, Butler has no timeouts left.
Yeah, they're still down. They're quadrupled up right now. Of course, this challenge could change that if it's overturned. But yeah, the Bulldogs have used both of their timeouts already so far in this set. We still got a long way to go, probably. But yeah, the Bulldogs, they need to take anything that they can get to try to stop this momentum, stop it all.
And it's very tough here in the Stroh Center, as we mentioned. We do have quite a few students in here. We have quite a few parents in here. Just Falcon fans are here as we unveiled the banners here in the Stroh Center for the regular season championship that we held last year. And the Falcons, after a little bit of a rocky start at the Golden Dome Invitational, so far are doing fairly well at home.
Yep. And it was a rocky start again here, in particular in this game, not so much earlier today when they played University of North Carolina Charlotte. And the challenge is going to stand here, so the Falcons are still up 16-4 now.
Katie Kidwell still back here to serve. Same lineup out here for the Falcons. Julia Wall still out there, or Julia Wall still on the bench. Up over by Kidwell, dug out by Butler. Kill attempt over, dug out by Haberland. Saved by Marciniak, over by Meyer, and dug out by Butler. Great play there, and just out of the reach of Katie Kidwell, as for once Butler's going to get a point in this set. It is now 16-5. That is halting.
For once they'll get a point.
Absolutely, and it's halting about like a 6-point streak there by the Falcons. Up, over, and it's going to be over the head of Julia Walls, as she didn't even need to try to do that, as she came back in for Kidwell. Kirsty Shaw's going to go ahead and check out, and in's going to come Petra Androva, the freshman out of the Czech Republic. Isabel Marciniak, the senior, up, over to the libero, just going to be sent over and out, as Julia Walls did not want any part of that, and the Butler Bulldogs are just falling apart here. It is 18-5 Bowling Green. Isabel Marciniak, setter, up, over. And it's just out of bounds, just across the line there behind Butler. 18-6, service error to Isabel Marciniak.
And we're going to get a substitution here with Butler. Looks like it's going to be Adapo and 14 Elizabeth LeBou that's coming out of the game.
Number 17, really, and Dennis is back there for the Butler Bulldogs, waiting to serve. Up, over, and right to Walls, dug out by Marciniak. Down to Androva, saved by Haberlin. This was blocked to the net. Androva right back into the ground. Petra Androva lays yet down another hammer. 19-6, Bowling Green, as they just continue to thrash Butler here in this set. Icabelli's going to come in. That's number 12, Paulina Icabelli, not to be confused with her twin sister, Victoria Icabelli. She's going to come in for Haberland. And Meyer's going to check out, as well as Jacqueline Askin's going to check back in. Icabelli up, over, dug out by number 13 of Butler. Set up, kill attempt, blocked at the net and out of bounds. That was Lexi Sauber and Petra Androva on the block, but it's going to go out of bounds, so point goes to Butler. As number 4, Megan Ramseer, is going to be over there. She is the senior from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, up and over. Dug out by Icabelli, saved by Androva, and just sent over for a free ball by Walls. Butler sets back up, and Walls saves it, and she just can't get, Icabelli can't get over there to help her out. 19-8, Bowling Green.
Yeah, it's a great effort there by Walls and Icabelli to try to get that ball. Both of them diving for it, one after the other. Just couldn't quite get it.
Ramseer up, over, dug out by Icabelli, set up by Isabel Marciniak, blocked at the net, and sent over for a free ball by Askin. Kill attempt at the net. That net is not on any side, but in that case, it was a Falcon fan. 20-8, Bowling Green. Julia Walls, the libero, is going to go ahead and serve. Back up, over. Dug out by Butler. Kill attempt blocked at the net by Askin and Kidwell. Dug out by Icabelli. Blocked at the net as Androva tried to put it down. Askin just going to send it over for a free ball. Dug out by Butler. Blocked at the net by Kidwell. Kidwell keeps it up. Marciniak. Over by Askin. Dug out by Butler. Butler looking to attack again. That one's out of bounds.
They're going to roll it in.
They're gonna rule it in bounds, as you said, Adam. Point Butler. That looked out of bounds to me.
It was close.
And
doesn't look like any challenge is going to be taken by Bowling Green here. Still right in the big lead, though, 20-9.
Dug out by Icabelli. Fake by Askin. Askin into the ground. In the back left corner. Butler just not able to get there in time. As we're going to see Petra Androva come out. Kirsty Shaw is going to come in. On the court right now is Kidwell, Askin, Isabel Marciniak, the senior. You have Paulina Icabelli, Kirsty Shaw back to serve, and Julia Walls, the libero. Kirsty Shaw, couple bounces, get the feel for the ball. Up, over, just over the net. Low serve and just an error there by Butler, as they just have not looked the same since they started that first set. It is 22-9 Bowling Green, as they are 3 points away from a set victory. Kirsty Shaw still back to serve. Looking at the ball, up, over, dug out by LeBeau. And just in front of Kirsty Shaw, of the Bowling Green Falcons, just not able to get a hand on that one. So it's 22-10 Falcons here at the Hampton Inn Bowling Green Invitational. Send up and over by LeBeau. Low serve, dug out by Walls. Send over by Askin, dug out as was tipped by the net. Dug out by Walls again. Marciniak up over Kidwell. Off the head of Butler. It is 23-10. Bowling Green is the host team for this tournament here, joined by the Butler Bulldogs, the Charlotte 49ers, and the Cleveland State Vikings. And Bowling Green will be taking on the Cleveland State Vikings tomorrow at 2. Askin over. Dug out by Butler. And saved by Kirsty Shaw as the kill attempt was unsuccessful. Tipped at the net as Meyer sent it over. Blocked at the net. Tipped up and over just in front of Kirsty Shaw.
I don't want to play I don't want to jinx them here, but this is looking a little bit like what we were seeing in the last set as well. We had Butler making some errors at this point in the set with a big lead, and the Falcons are starting to make a few errors here now too.
And it's all about not shooting yourself in the foot as Butler sends it up over dugout by Shaw. Marciniak set up over Meyer. And they're ruling it inbounds. Just in front of LeBeau, the libero for Bulldogs. It is now set point for the Falcons as Bowling Green, the Stroh Center, starts to get loud and they get on their feet. 24-11 here, Bowling Green. Bulldogs are up as in terms of sets. The set is 1-0 in terms of the Bulldogs. The Falcons, though, trying to match it as we hear that BGSU. Back to serve is Kidwell. She's joined by Haberlin, Shaw, Meyer, Saber, and Marciniak. Up, over, dug out by Butler. Set, over, kill attempt, unsuccessful. Kidwell saves it. Marciniak sets it up and sent over for a free ball by Kidwell. The libero LeBeau sets it up. Fake out, dug out by Shaw, tipped to the net by Meyer. Saubert just goes ahead, tries to keep it up. Dug out by Marciniak. Meyer sends it over, dug off the hands of LeBeau. 25-11, Bowling Green takes set number 2. And wow, this crowd just erupted at that one.
That was a beautifully placed ball. Could not have placed it much better than that. Diving after the ball. There was nothing you could do about that one, and the Falcons are flying high now.
Absolutely. After that, I'll say bad start to start off this whole match here. They went down deep. They went through a 9-2 run through the final 11 serves in the end of the first, and they started off this set up 1-0 and didn't look back. Get you a couple stats here just really quick before we go on a little bit of a break. During that second set, there was 25 points by Bowling Green, 11 by Butler, 12 kills to the 10 by Butler. Butler had 8 attack errors to Bowling Green's 0. And then, as in terms of attack attempts, Butler led 36-31. Although their hitting percentage was .056 to the Bowling Green Falcons 387. 2 service errors, 2 blocks by the Falcons, and 2 service aces by the Falcons. So these Falcons are flying high. And Adam, what do we need to see out of Bowling Green to stay on top of it before Butler comes back out on the court with them?
Well, the Falcons cannot take their foot off the gas. They're playing as well. They had a few errors there, a little bit there at the end, but they were still able to get out of that set with a clear-cut victory. But the way they were playing to start the set, that's the way that they got to carry them. That's the way that they have to play throughout the rest of the time here.
I agree completely with you. We're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break here, and thank you for listening. It at 1, Bowling Green and Butler. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Bowling Green on the Mixler.
Green, Ohio for the Hampton Inn Bowling Green Invitational Tournament. It's the Butler Bulldogs versus the Bowling Green State University Falcons volleyball action. And it's now tied up 1-1. I am Adam Gall alongside Zach Smith. And Zach, what we saw in the first and second set were complete opposites of each other. The Falcons started off out of sync. They started out slow. They were making a lot of errors. And they started gaining momentum at the end of the set, and just the opposite happened. I mean, the Falcons are still flying high, but they got to keep the momentum up.
Oh, absolutely, and it all starts with the fact that the Falcons are not shooting themselves in the foot. A big fact from that second set, errors. Attack errors alone. There were 8 on the Butler Bulldogs. Can you tell me how many there were for the Falcons?
0.
A goose egg on that board, and it's all about not shooting yourselves in the foot. These Falcons are flying high. The fans are into it. All smiles as they're dancing over there on the sidelines as they are pumped. But as we know, you have to win 3 sets. We're tied at 1. We're guaranteed a 4th set. So we have this one and another one. So a little bit of time to spend between you and me there, Adam.
Butler will be serving to start the 3rd set. Butler serving from right to left on your dial. This is going to be dug out by Julia Walls. The attack setup by the Falcons. This is Butler possession here. This is going to be the attack setup for number 13, Megan Sheridan. And that falls down on the block.
And the Falcons, the big thing to preach in any sport, good defense leads to better offense. That defense hypes up this crowd, and I just sat over here and watching 4 Bowling Green players just go nuts.
Walls on the serve again. A low dig out by Butler. And they make the adjustment to it. This is going to be dug out by Marciniak with Julia Walls setting it up for Jacqueline Askin. Going through the back of the Butler side of the court. And it's going to put too much on that one. Or they roll that in bounds. Looked like it was out of bounds to me, but they roll it in. It's 2-0.
Not complaining on this side.
Unless the Bulldog touched it before going out. No challenge there. Butler on the attack. This is going to be blocked by pitcher Androva, but it falls down out of bounds on the Falcons side, so it's 2-1, Bowling Green. And
the other stat to mention to you, through the first 2 sets, there was 1 lead change, or 1 tie apiece, and then the other team ran away with it.
Androva on the layup over the net. On the Bulldog attack, this is going to be dug out by Marciniak. That ball goes sky high before Wall sets it up for Kayla Myers, not Kayla Myers, excuse me. Had to screw up there on the broadcast there, I'm sorry. So now it's still same play, still going on. It's Butler attack. This is going to be blocked by Androva, but that one goes out of bounds again. So now it's tied at 2 now.
And it looked as if the ball hit the floor over by the Bowling Green side. They ruled it was still in play, but it ultimately came back to be Butler's point.
Paulina Acabelli digs it out. This is going to be Androva on the attack. Butler struggles to block that one, and Androva gets another shot at it. This is Butler possession. Androva on the dig. Marciniak sets it up for Jacqueline Askin. Blocked at the net, but that one goes out of bounds. It's Falcon point, 3-2.
And that's the 3rd time these 2 teams have tied tonight. It was once in the first set, once in the second set, once in the 3rd set, and we'll see if Butler comes out with a little bit more urgency.
Kirsty Shaw on the serve now. You can hear a pin drop in the straw before the serve. This is going to be dug out by Butler. They're struggling with that one. They're going to have to give the Falcons a free possession. This is Julia Walls digging it out. It's Marciniak laying it up over the net. Butler gets a chance at it. This is dug out by Kirsty Shaw. Jacqueline Askin gets a chance at it. It's blocked at the net, but it falls to the ground on the Butler side. It's 4-2 Falcons.
Great job there by the Falcons, just continuing to keep the gas, or their foot on the gas, and it's all being started by Marciniak, the setter and the senior on this squad.
Kirsty Shaw will serve again. Waiting for the go-ahead from the officials. They give it to her. Taking her time with it. Up and over. This is going to be dug out by the Bulldogs. This is going to be the attack setup by Michaela Wright. That is blocked, but that one got a little distance on that block, and that one goes out of bounds.
Sitting over here on Media Row, that ball dropped right in front of us. It looked inbounds to me, and I'm a little surprised that Coach Tomich isn't going to challenge this, but she didn't necessarily have the best angle.
Kirsty Shaw digs it out. This is going to be Jacqueline Askin on the quick attack. Going on the back left corner.
I thought I saw a little bit of smoke coming off that ball. Great hit there as Askin just puts that ball in the dirt, and Drova's not the only one who can lay the hammer down for these Falcons.
Jacqueline Askin will serve now for the Falcons. Gonna be dug out by the Bulldogs. Sets up the attack for number 13, Megan Sheridan. That one goes between Kirsty Shaw and Julia Walls for the Bulldog kill. This is a lot closer now. This is a lot closer start now to this set than the first two. It's 5-4, Falcons in the lead.
And with the first two sets, the first set we lost 25-17. The second set, it was another lopsided victory, 25-11. This is much closer.
Caitlin Meyer gets a shot at it. That's Sheridan who couldn't get a handle on that one. Caitlin Meyer gets the kill. 6-4 BG. 10 serves in. Katie Kidwell will serve for the Falcons now. Katie Kidwell sends it up and over and out of bounds on the right-hand side of the Butler zone. 6-5 BG. And it continues to remain close. I don't believe we have seen a lead any bigger than 2 so far in this set. Butler serve now. That one is tipped at the net, but it goes over. That one's going to be laid up and over by the Falcons.
It was a nice little fake out play over there. I believe that was Lexi Saber. She looked like she was just going to set it up so another player could get a hit on that, and she found the soft spot in the zone.
Isabel Marciniak will serve for the Falcons now. It's going to be dug out by Elizabeth Alou. It sets up the attack. It's blocked at the net by the Falcons. Julia Walls sets it up for Caitlin Meyer to send it back across. It's dug out by LeBeau. It's going to be set up the attack by number 7, Michaela Wright. Falcons struggling a little bit to get that one, but it's still in play. Sends it back over to the Butler side. This is going to be number 12, Brooke Gregory, who gets a shot at it. Falcons get a shot right back with Caitlin Meyer. That's blocked at the net. Got another long rally here. This is Indrova sending it back over on a free possession. This is number 9, Anna Logan, dug out by Julia Walls. That one goes sky high before Caitlin Meyer gets a shot at it. Gets a second shot at it. That's blocked by the Bulldogs. That one goes out of bounds, just out of bounds, as that ball, again, headed our way after it's all over.
And as the great guy who is the current executive director of BGRSO said last week, the reason he loves broadcasting volleyball so much is that there's a little bit of danger in every single play, and we saw as that ball almost drilled us in the head.
Marciniak serves. This is going to be set up on the attack for the Bulldogs by Brooke Gregory. Falcons struggle a little bit to get a handle on that one, but they do. That's blocked by the Bulldogs, but it goes out of bounds on the far end on the score table side. It's 9-5 Falcons. This is the biggest lead that we've seen by either team so far in this set, as Marciniak will serve again for BG. Sends it up and over. This is going to be dug out by LeBeau, sets it up. That is a deception move by the Bulldogs. This is going to be Caitlin Meyer who gets a shot at it. Dug out by the Bulldogs. This is going to be number 9, Anna Logan, who gets a shot at it. This is dug out by Marciniak. Sets up again for Caitlin Meyer. That's tipped at the net by the Bulldogs. That is Megan Ramsire and Brooke Gregory, who tipped that and went out of bounds. Bulldogs called timeout. 10-5 BG.
And it's all about what you said at the end of the second set. The Falcons cannot take their foot off the gas. I guarantee that's what Coach Tomich was saying in the locker room. Just let's not slow down. And so far, these Bowling Green Falcons have showed that. And you can tell this crowd is in this as the student section over to our right here in the Stroh Center has started the BGSU chant, and it's going all the way around the Stroh.
This is the banner reveal game for the Falcons, celebrating back-to-back regular season tournament championships under head coach Tomich, Daniela Tomich of the Falcons. We have 2 more games left in this Bowling Green Invitational tomorrow. We have Butler versus University of North Carolina Charlotte. That one is at noon. And we have the Falcons versus Cleveland State at 2 p.m. Youth Volleyball Day will be tomorrow as well. Those are the 2 remaining games left here in this Invitational. The Falcons' next game is at Oakland University in Michigan on Tuesday. That's at 6 p.m. It'll be broadcast on Falcon Radio. It's 10-5 here in BG. The Falcons with the lead over Butler. It's a lot closer set than we've had in the first two here. And this third set's tied at 1. It's dug out by the Bulldogs. This is going to be set up on the attack for Anna Logan. Dug out by Caitlin Meyer. And it's Meyer who gets a shot at the attack herself. This is dug out by LeBeau. Sends it back over to the Falcons side. This is going to be the quick attack by Lexi Sauber, it looks like. Logan sends that one cross court and too far and out of bounds towards head coach of the Falcons, Danielle Tomich. 11-5 Falcons now, and the Falcons get the opening point coming out of that Butler timeout. This is Marciniak will serve again for the Falcons. Up and over. This is LeBeau digging it out. This is going to be the attack set up for Brooke Gregory. And that one goes out of bounds. Butler looked like they disagreed for a second. And the head coach for Butler, Sharon Clark, is talking with the officials right now. And it looks like they will review it.
I didn't get quite a good look over next to you, Adam, but from my perspective at least, it looked like the officials have gotten it right. And so far, Coach Tomich is not challenged. Yet, Coach Sharon Clark of the Butler Bulldogs has challenged, I believe, twice now, and she's lost the first one. We'll see how this second one goes, but these officials have been really good tonight.
Yes. The best time, when you know that the officials have done good is when they're not brought up very often.
Oh, exactly, and that's how it should be for every sport. I mean, it's obviously very important to get the call right, but you got to trust when these officials do their jobs correctly. And the biggest theme with the night, as we've seen this lopsided victory, Butler has had 15 attack errors to the Falcons' 8. However, they have 3 service errors to the Falcons' 2. So plenty of errors being done here by Butler.
And the call stands. The Falcons do get the point out of that, so it's going to remain 12-5. And based off of what I saw, they did get the call correct there too.
And Coach Sharon Clark was not very happy with that call, but there's only so much she can do.
Isabel Marciniak will serve again. Up and over. This is LeBeau digging it out, and Butler's struggling to handle on that one, but they send it back over. This is Marciniak setting it up for, looked like it was Indrova if I'm correct. That one was blocked at the net, and Butler gets the point out of that one.
And I know we keep going back to this first set, but the first set, there was just such a lack of communication for the Falcons, and Butler was able to run away with it. It's almost the inverse here.
12-6 BG leads. Here in this third set, it's tied 1-1. It's going to be a face-off at the net. This is Julia Walls sending it back over on a free possession. This is going to be Anna Logan on the attack. That one's just out of reach for Julia Walls.
And just in bounds, too.
Greatly placed ball there on the Butler attack. Brooke Gregory on the serve for Butler. Sends it up and over. Julia Walls on the dig. This is going to be Marciniak setting it up for Indrova. This is going to be dug out by the Bulldogs. And that is Ramsire who sends it back over in time for Caitlin Meyer to get the kill there, as it was Ramsire again who couldn't get that one. It's 13-7 now, BG.
Ika Belly's going to come on in for Caitlin Meyer, and Taylor Haberlin's going to come out. Marciniak, the senior, is going to also get back in here and try to help lead her team to a 2-1 lead over Butler.
So I've at least one more set to play here. Of course, this is a best of 5. As Butler will make their 2 substitutions of their own. It's going to be Owadapo coming in. And Maria Shore coming in. In place of Megan Sheridan and Megan Ramsire. Falcons serving. This is Paulina Icabelli. Puts it up and over. Dug out by Butler. It's going to be Anna Logan to get a chance at it. This is Icabelli digging it out in time for Marciniak to set it up for Indrova. That's off of a Butler Bulldog there. It's now 13-8.
Some of these balls have gone into the stands as if they're foul balls in baseball. Unfortunately, unlike baseball, you can't take these balls home, as the volleyballs have to go back into play.
It's going to be Megan Ramsire. Serve for Butler here. Dug out by Akabelli. This is Marciniak setting it up for Lexi Sauber. This is going to be a face-off with the net. Julia Walls digs it out. That's a great effort there by Julia Walls and Sauber to try to keep that ball above ground, but to no avail. 13-9 now, and Butler inching closer back up. Court maintenance here in between serves.
A little bit of sweat on the ground.
This is going to be Ramsire serving for the Bulldogs. Again, we're tied 1-1 here in BG in a best of 5. This is going to be Akabelli setting it up for Petra Androva. That one is blocked at the net. And now it's going to be 13-10.
Little bit of momentum going back to these Butler Bulldogs. And their fans are starting to get louder too.
Julia Walls on the dig. This is going to be set up for Jacqueline Askin, it looked like, if I'm correct. Yes, it was Askin. That one goes out of bounds. 13-11 now.
And in this set, 4 attack errors by Bowling Green to 3 by Butler, as Butler seems to have righted that ship.
And this is Butler going to set up the attack by number 7, Michaela Wright. And that one sails out of bounds on the back end of the BG side. And Bowling Green finally able to get a point out of that one on the Butler attack error. 14-11. And BG making a few attack errors after making none in the second set. Julia Walls on the serve there. Butler struggling to get a handle on that one, but they do. This is going to be Marciniak setting it up for Androva. Butler gets a chance at it with Anna Logan. Sends it to Julia Walls' way, and that is blocked at the net by the Bulldogs by number 13, Megan Sheridan, and number 16, Melody Davidson.
And Katie Kidwell tried her best to set that one done, but she just unfortunately was blocked at the net.
14-12. This is Marciniak setting up for Jacqueline Askin. That's off of Ramsire. This is going to be set up for Michaela Wright, who sends it out of Julia Wall's reach. And it looks like the Falcons are now going to take a timeout. It's now 14-13. Butler within 1 after having a good start to this set.
And Coach Tomic is just trying to settle the girls back down. As we mentioned, there were 8 attack errors by Butler in that second set to none by Bowling Green. They played flawless volleyball, I should say, during that second set. During this set, 5 attack errors by Bowling Green to 4 by Butler. And it seems like the philosophy over there by Coach Sharon Clark is let's not shoot ourselves in the foot here and force them to make the mistakes. And so far, Bowling Green has been making one too many mistakes tonight.
Still a close game here in BG. It's 14-13. It's tied at 1-1. Could be going down to the wire here in the third set, maybe for the match, as Butler has broken their huddle with 40 seconds left, and Falcons are about to break theirs.
And it's still all smiles over there. And we mentioned it during the Golden Dome Invitational last week, and I think Adam and I talked about it a little bit tonight, is this team is always best when they're relaxed and they're able just to take it as what it is, and it's a game. And it's all about having fun. And that's what Coach Tomic said to start off this season last weekend, is this is all about having fun. We're going to control what we can control. So it's going to be interesting to see what adjustments she can make, but ultimately it's all about having fun out there for both sides.
Anna Logan to serve for the Bulldogs. This is going to be dug out by Akabelli. This is going to be Marciniak setting up for Jacqueline Askin, who does get the kill there. So the Falcons are able to get a critical point coming out of that timeout that they just spent. 15-13. It's going to be Kirsty Shaw coming in for Petra Androva. Kirsty Shaw taking her time with the serve. Up and over. It's going to be dug out by the Bulldogs. It's going to be set up the attack by number 16, Melody Davidson, but that is blocked at the net by the Falcons. Back-to-back points coming out of that timeout. And the Falcons get the momentum back their way.
Coach Sharon Clark of the Butler Bulldogs looks a little distraught over there. I think if we see another point or two go on the board by Bowling Green, a timeout will be taken.
One timeout left by each team. That one barely gets over the net, but the Bulldogs are able to respond to it. And an attempted deception move there, and the Bulldogs touched the ball too many times there. So the Falcons are now up 17-13, and it doesn't look like Butler will take any timeouts here.
They got to save that one timeout. This is a pivotal set 3, as it is a best of 5. So the winner of this set is in a big advantage.
Dug out by the Bulldogs badly, but somehow they're able to keep it in. Julia Walls sets it up for Marciniak, who then gives it, and the Butler possession here. Kirsty Shaw digs that one out, goes sky high in time for Marciniak to set it up for Jacqueline Askin. Bulldogs diving after that one in time for Michaela Wright to send it back over. And that is Jacqueline Askin on the attack, goes off of Anna Logan, 18-13. Still no timeout call by the Bulldogs.
And Butler was right, they yelled out. It was going out, but just unfortunately irresistible out there for number 9, Anna Logan.
Kirsty Shaw sends it over on the serve. This is going to be dug out by LeBeau. Sets it up for Megan Sheridan. Dug out. How did the Falcons dig that one out? I don't know. This is going to be Kirsty Shaw digging it out again. This is going to be Jacqueline Askin on the attack. Butler possession now. This is LeBeau setting it up for Michaela Wright. Blocked at the net. Still Bulldog possession. This is Michaela Wright again. Attempted deception move, but the Falcons were not fooled. Jacqueline Askin sends it back over. Another long rally here between these two, and it's going to be just in bounds for Butler going cross court. It's now 18-14.
And Kirsty Shaw made a couple great digs on that rally there, and unfortunately she couldn't make a third as it was just out of her reach.
Icabelli digs this one. Icabelli sets it up for Jacqueline Askin on the attack, and Butler sets up the attack for Brooke Gregory. Kirsty Shaw sets up for Jacqueline Askin to attempted free possession, but mishandled that one, couldn't get that one over the net. It's now 18-15. This is LeBeau, sends it over the net to Icabelli. Marciniak sets up for Askin, and that one is off of, it looks like, number 9, Anna Logan, into the stands, 19-15. So we're starting to get closer to that 25 mark.
And this game doesn't seem to really have momentum in either way. This is obviously the closest game that we've had so far here tonight, but this is a 4-point game, and Butler's going on runs, Bowling Green is going on runs, and this game is favoring both sides so far.
Julian Zemba comes in for Anna Logan. This is going to be dug out by the Bulldogs, sets it up for Brooke Gregory on the attack, dug out by Askin. This is going to be Marciniak, who on the deception move takes it back to the Butler side, straight to the floor, 20-15.
And the referee on the far side from us, every little while turns and he questions whether or not she's going to take a timeout over there on the Butler sideline.
This is going to be number 7, Michaela Wright, and the Falcons mishandle that one. That one goes into the stands on the far side. It's 20-16. Falcons lead here in the third set. Tied at 1 set apiece here in Bowling Green, Ohio.
And as mentioned, we are guaranteed a set 4 with the Falcons winning set 2. So
if they win set 2.
Well, set 2 they already won.
I was thinking set 3. This is
so
what we're playing
as
right
much
now.
as this set matters, at the same time it doesn't. This is still a best of 5, but there's a big advantage of going up 2-1 as opposed to being down 1-2.
This is going to be Maria Shore, who sends it on the serve to the Falcon side. That's Katie Kidwell, it looks like, who got the quick kill there. 21-16, Falcons in the lead.
And just a fantastic job there by Kidwell, seeing the soft spot and just setting it down exactly where it needed to be.
Katie Kidwell takes her time with the serve, sends it right into the net. And Butler inches back closer. Now it's 21-17 BG.
And the unique thing with Katie Kidwell's serve is it is at an angle where if it gets over the net, it is very, very hard to dig out. But unfortunately, if it hits the net, that's not a favorable call for the Falcons.
a bit of a riskier serve style.
Absolutely.
Michaela Wright on the serve for Butler. Dug out by Haberlin. This is going to be Marciniak, who sets it up for Caitlin Meyer on the attack. Butler gets a chance at it with Anna Logan. And Butler struggling to get a handle on that one, but now it's BG possessions. Marciniak sets it up for, looks like it was Lexi Sauber, and Butler somehow gets it back to the BG side. Marciniak sets up for clean attack by Caitlin Meyer, and that one is blocked at the net, and Butler's ecstatic after that one.
And the very interesting thing about that one, Adam, is that Butler somehow got the ball over the net twice.
Yeah. Michaela Wright on the serve this time. Marciniak sets up for Caitlin Meyer on the great kill there right in front of Michaela Wright. Now it's 22-18 BG.
Yet another hammer thrown down there by Caitlin Meyer. A little bit of smoke coming in, and in comes the other hammer, Petra Indrova. The two of them led the team in kills last weekend, and they continue just to be all smiles tonight.
Marciniak on the, just barely gets over the net, hit the net a little bit, but it gets over. This is Falcon possession now. This is Androva on the soft touch over the net, and Butler couldn't get that one out. It's 23-18, 2 points away for the Falcons. Butler takes their final timeout of the set.
And the interesting thing with that one, Brooke Gregory just got a tip on that ball, whereas the libero, Elizabeth LeBeau, was running in. She was going to try to make her play on it, but unfortunately, just because of that tip, it fell, and there was nothing the Bowling Green or Butler could do about it.
23-18 here in Bowling Green. It's tied 1-1. This is a much different set than what we've seen in the first two, Zach.
This has been a lot closer than the first two sets. The first one was a runaway victory by Butler, as it looked almost that Bowling Green was shaking a little bit of the rust off from their game this morning against the Charlotte 49ers. The second game was the complete inverse of the first one, where Butler never really seemed to be able to stand up with all the hammers that Bowling Green was throwing down on them. But this game, or this set, excuse me, as opposed to the other two, has been fairly even. It's only a 5-point game here, or yes, 5-point game here as we near the end of the third set, but no team has actually had much of an advantage other than the Falcons getting onto some early leads.
It's been Caitlin Meyer and Megan Sheridan leading the way in kills for each team. Marciniak sends it over the net. This is dug out by Butler. It's going to be set up for Anna Logan. Sends it back to the Falcon side. It's dug out by Julia Walls. This is going to be a quick attack by Lexi Sauber, it looked like, and BG now has a set point. Chance to go up 2-1.
Fans on their feet trying to cheer on these Falcons. And how fitting is it that it's Marciniak?
Marciniak sends it over the net on a line drive. This is going to be Anna Logan. Blocked at the net by the Falcons. And that is your set number 3, with the Falcons taking a 2-1 lead now.
And I'm looking over there at that huddle of the girls that were just on the court for the Falcons. The one thing that was being said out there was by senior Isabel Marciniak saying, one more, just one more.
Falcons get the huge set victory. We will go to set number 4 here in BG, with the Falcons now up 2-1 in a much more tightly contended third set. We will take a quick break here. We come back in a couple minutes. We'll again switch broadcasting rules. Zach will take the play-by-play. I will take the color. You are listening to BGRSO coverage of BGSU Falcon Volleyball here on Mixler.com.
Welcome back to the Stroh Center here at the campus of Bowling Green State University here in beautiful Bowling Green, Ohio. I'm Zach Smith. I'm joined alongside Adam, and we are just getting ready here to get back to some Bowling Green volleyball.
Yeah, the Falcons came out and in a much tighter contested third set, they were able to come out of that one. So the Falcons, they're ready to play. They're ready to play some tightly contested volleyball, and that's a good sign coming into this fourth set because you know that Butler is going to give everything they have here.
Oh, absolutely. Again, Zach Smith along outside Adam Gaw here for the Hampton Inn Bowling Green Invitational. The Butler Bulldogs are down 2-1 to the Bowling Green Falcons. Ika Belly's going to serve it up and over. Dug out by number 7, Brittany Robinson. Blocked at the net. Kept alive by Androva. Sent over by Askin. Dug out by the Bulldogs. Send over again and just inside the line here of Bowling Green. On the court here for the Falcons, you have Jacqueline Askin, Paulina Icabelli, Julia Walls, the libero. You also have Isabel Marciniak, Lexi Sauber, and Petra Androva. Sent over, blocked at the net by Androva and Sauber. And the big theme that we saw throughout the last two sets is all about the errors. And so far, Bowling Green has not allowed themselves to get in too much trouble with the errors. Kidwell's going to come in for Sauber. Up and over by Walls. Dug out by the Bulldogs as it is saved by Androva. Up by Isabel Marciniak and saved. Great job there on the kill by Askin. On the court for these Butler Bulldogs, not the Buffalo Bulldogs, you have number 9, Anna Logan. The libero is Elizabeth LeBeau as the libero for the Falcons. Sends it over. Up by Marciniak. Over by Askin on the soft touch and not able to get back to the net. Also on the court here for the Butler Bulldogs, Megan Sheridan. She's also joined by Megan Ramseer, number 7, Brittany Robinson, and number 16, Melody Davidson. Up and over is Walls' serve. Dug out by LeBeau. Sent down and dug out by Icabelli. Up by Isabel Marciniak. Sent down by Katie Kidwell. Looked as though Bulldogs were trying to catch that one, but unfortunately not able to do it. Point, Falcons.
There was no catching that one from Katie Kidwell.
Julia Walls back there to serve. Up, over. Dug out by number 7, Brittany Robinson. Sent over by the Bulldogs. Dug out by Walls. Up by Marciniak. Over by Askin. Tipped at the net. Barely saved by the Bulldogs. Sent over for a free ball, which turns into a point for the Bulldogs as Icabelli just could not get to that one.
That was a miscue on Icabelli's part. Still got the 4-2 lead, and the Falcons are still have high morale right now.
As we mentioned right before this set started, it is 2-1 Falcons ends in terms of the match as it is sent over by LeBeau, dug out by the Falcons, down with the hammer. Petra Androva just into the face of, I believe that's number 4, Megan Ramseer. She was just not able to dig that one out. Point, Falcons, 5-2. Back to serve is Kirsty Shaw as she's going to come in for Petra Androva. Kirsty Shaw. Up, over. Dug out by the Bulldogs, sent down by number 7, Brittany Robinson in front of the Falcons. Point, it is 5-3. And Adam, we're seeing a lot of what we just saw in the third set. It's a close game.
Yeah, of course BG jumped out the 5-1 lead, but Bulldogs, like I said before, they were going to give everything that they had in this fourth set. They got this. If BG takes this set, it's over, so they have to.
Up and over by the Bulldogs. Kirsty Shaw digs it out. Sent up, over. Jacqueline Askin is able to keep that ball alive. And it's just off the hands of Julia Walls as the Bulldogs are going to go within a 1-point game, 5-4. And we mentioned during the first set that this is a lot like a race. It's not about who can get there the fastest. It's all about the stamina and if you can weather these punches. Butler is taking a lot of punches, so we're going to see how that goes. Dug out by Kirsty Shaw, up by Isabel Marciniak, sent down by Askin, dug out by the Bulldogs. Kept alive by Kirsty Shaw. One more by Askin. Saved. Butler with the kill attempt there by Brooke Gregory. just out the hands of Kirsty Shaw, and we're going to see the second tie of this game.
Of course, the Falcons struggling a little bit with back-to-back miscues on the receiving end of those attacks by Butler. Just a misplacement.
Up and over by number 13, Megan Sheridan. Dug out by Shaw, set up by Marciniak over to Askin. Just barely saved there by the Bulldogs. Saved there by Ika Belli. Set back down by Kidwell. Dig by the Bulldogs. They'll reset. Tipped at the net by Isabel Marciniak. Julia Walls cannot save that one. And point Bulldogs. This is their first lead since that first set. 6-5 Bulldogs.
That's got to be a huge confidence booster for Butler.
Megan Sheridan up over, dug out by Kirsty Shaw. Marciniak just keeps that one alive, sent over for a free ball by Askin, dug out by number 7, that's Brittany Robinson. Kill attempt, saved by Walls, up by Askin, over by Kidwell for another free ball. Elizabeth LeBeau digs that one out, blocked at the net! Number 18, Jacqueline Askin, sends that one back.
Jacqueline Askin says, "You are not getting past me."
Ika Belli's going to check out. In's going to come Caitlin Meyer. Caitlin Meyer, one of these players tonight that's just been sending missiles across that net. Askin up over, dug out by LeBeau. Set and sent over for a free ball. Dug out by the Falcons. The set is actually a deception move sent over there by the Bulldogs. Katie Kidwell just keeps it alive, sent over by number 9, Anna Logan. And they're going to rule out of bounds. Point Falcons, 7-6, Bowling Green.
That was a pretty close one right at the line, but it doesn't look like Butler is going to challenge this.
Sharon Clark, the head coach of Butler, does not have the best track record of challenges tonight as it is sent over. Dug out by Walls. Up and over by Meyer, tipped at the net and out of bounds as Meyer sends another strike. Point Falcons.
This is very similar to what we saw in the very last set.
Substitution here for the Butler Bulldogs. Number 4, Megan Ramsayer, is going to come out for number 10. That's Funmi Aladapo. And also coming in is number 2, Maria Shore, coming in for Megan Sheridan. Askin up, over. Dug out by Butler, set up to number 7. Brittany Robinson dug out by Askin. Meyer sends her own over, dug out by LeBeau. And they're going to say net violation or 2 touches. I can't tell from here. Point Bowling Green regardless. 9-6 Falcons. Askin still back there serving. Looking to stay undefeated here at home is the Falcons. Up and over by Askin. Dug out by number 9. That's Anna Logan. Sent over. Dug out by Walls. Up. And deception move by Isabel Marciniak is not going to work. Blocked at the net by Kidwell, and Marciniak back to the Bulldogs. Up and over Kidwell, sets. Marciniak sets. Myers strikes. Blocked at the net. Meyer again. Soft touch. Dug out by Butler. Another soft touch. Dug out by Shaw. Up to Marciniak. Meyer blocked at the net. Out of bounds. Meyer continues with her velocity. The Falcons continue with their dominance.
Caitlin Meyer flying high on those strikes.
Askin back to serve. Up, over. Dug out by LeBeau. Dug out by Shaw on the kill attempt by Butler. Meyer sends another right into the face of Anna Logan. She can't do anything about that except let it hit the ground. Timeout. Sharon Clark and Butler as the Falcons are up 11-6 here at home in set 4.
And you could tell when the Falcons came over to that bench, head coach of the Falcons, Daniela Tomic, was very excited when they came back.
And this is all being led by Caitlin Meyer over there as she just continues to send rockets at these Bulldogs and they can't dig it out. And Sharon Clark is over there talking to number 7. That's Brittany Robinson, just trying to make some sense of what's going on as these Bulldogs led once since that first set and just haven't been able to do anything since.
Yeah, but the Falcons have taken over. This is their arena, and they've let that be known. And it's the Falcons again. They struggled to get in sync in that first set. Once that once they were able to pick up the pace in that one, the Bulldogs were not ready for it. The Bulldogs have adjusted to that. They picked up their game as well. And although a little bit more contested now, the Falcons have continued to edge out the Bulldogs now. And Caitlin Meyer again leading the way on offense.
The Falcons lost 2 games last weekend, beat the Wright State Raiders to open it. And then this morning, coming out to beat the 49ers of Charlotte, sweeping that set, putting them at 2-2 on the year. And I mean, this is only the second game, but they're undefeated at home as of right now. And they're looking to continue that as they are up 2-1 against the Butler Bulldogs here at the Hampton Inn Bowling Green Invitational. Askin up, over, dug out by LeBeau, set for number 7, blocked at the net. That's Meyer digging it out. And over again to Meyer, dug out by LeBeau. Kill attempt is thwarted by Kirsty Shaw, just sent over by Marciniak. That's number 7, Brittany Logan, sending it back over, dug out by Askin. Up by Marciniak, over. Meyer, blocked at the net, but in front of Butler. Nothing you can do about that one, Adam.
Nothing you can do about that one. And Caitlin Meyer again leading the way on offense, and the Butler Bulldogs didn't know what hit him that time.
And you see that excitement from Coach Tomich as well as Askin sends it up over, dug out by Anna Logan. Sent out of bounds, 13-6 Bowling Green as the Bulldogs just continue to spiral out of control.
And they do have 1 timeout left, and they're only 12 serves away from losing this match here.
Up and over by Askin. Anna Logan tries to do it. Kirsty Shaw digs it out though. Up and over, blocked at the net! Isabel Marciniak sends that ball back. It's a good thing she had her receipt because she returned that one. Great play there by Isabel Marciniak, the leader of this team. Coach Tomich is over there like, good job, good job.
Still got more than 10 points to go before you win this game. You gotta stay focused.
Askin up, over. She considers dominance. Back there serving. Saved there by Shaw. Marciniak up. Meyer down, but saved by LeBeau. And a little bit of a miscue as it just gets off the hands of Marciniak. And Askin can't save it. Finally a point for the Butler Bulldogs. 14-7, Falcons.
And it worked out in the slight deception move there. Butler's got to take anything that they can get at this point. Still being doubled up.
And out comes Jacqueline Askin as she just served quite a bit, so maybe give her a little bit of a breather. Taylor Haberland is going to come in, though. Dug out by Shaw. Marciniak, Meyer blocked in the net, but saved by the Bulldogs. Up and over, dug out by Walls, the libero. Kidwell right at the net. The block attempt was successful over there by Brooke Gregory and I believe Megan Ramsayer, but that ball went straight down. 15-7 Falcons. Kidwell, who just got the kill, is going to go back to serve. Up and over. Ends. Dug out by LeBeau. Kill attempt. Dug out by Haberlin. Up by Isabel Marciniak. Taylor Sauber with the kill. Blocked at the net, but nothing, unfortunately, these Bulldogs could do. These Falcons are just soaring high here in the Stroh Center for the Hampton Inn Bowling Green Invitational. Won this morning. Looking to close out the day.
And it's almost like, and the Falcons just continue to build that momentum, and it's getting to the point where it's that snowball rolling downhill and you just can't stop it.
All this dominance is just on display for the Falcon faithful who are here tonight. Kidwell up, over. Dug out by LeBeau, barely. And just sent over for a free ball, dug out by Shaw. Marciniak up, over. Meyer tipped at the net right out the hands of Brooke Gregory, who led this team in blocks coming into today. And unfortunately, she just hasn't been able to continue that dominance here tonight. Kidwell is out there to serve with Haberlin, Shaw, Caitlin Meyer, Isabel Marciniak, and Lexi Sauber. They are up 17-7 here in the 4th set. If Bowling Green wins this set, they win the match. If Butler wins, they go to a 5th. Kidwell up, over. Dug out by LeBeau, the libero of the Butler Bulldogs. Number 12, that's Brooke Gregory. They say tipped at the net. Point Bulldogs, 17-8 Falcons. Kidwell's going to go ahead, check on out. In's going to come Walls. Up, over, into the net. These Bulldogs just look out of sync as Brooke Gregory's serve goes into the net, and you can't afford to give these Falcons any more points.
Especially at this point, only 7 points away from a match victory.
Marciniak, the leader of this Falcon squad, back there to serve. Up, over. And just a little too much sauce on that one as it's going to go just past the Bulldogs. For all the points that the Bulldogs have given them, it's almost as if the Falcons are like, you know what, you guys can have one for once. 18-9 Falcons.
Well, I think if Butler's going to have any chance to get back into this, it's going to require the Falcons to make a significant amount of errors.
Errors, of course, being the big theme here during this match between the Bulldogs and the Falcons. As the serve is up and over, that's Megan Ramsar digging it out, though, for the Falcons. Is Haberlin. Meyer into the ground. 19-9 as it is a 10-point game here. And Meyer's going to go ahead and check out, give her a little bit of a breather. Icabelli, that's Paulina Icabelli, not to be confused again with her sister Victoria. And also is going to check out is Haberland in favor of Askin. Up and over is Icabelli, dug out by LeBeau. Set. Sent over there. And they're going to say inbounds as Anna Logan's going to get credit for that kill. 19-10, 9-point game. Out is going to be Jillian Ziemba. In is going to come number 11, Natalie Ravenel. As the Bulldogs try to come back. That serve into the net, bounces off the head of Brittany Robinson. 20-10 as the Bowling Green Falcons win the race to the red zone. Julia Walls is going to go ahead and serve as we're going to see Lexi Sauber check out in favor of Katie Kidwell. Julia Walls, the libero, of course, up and over. Dug out, though, by number 7, Brittany Robinson. Set. Blocked at the net. That was Askin. Set by Isabel Marciniak. Katie Kidwell with a nice little touch, but blocked at the net. Anna Logan's going to try her own. Excuse me, that was Brittany Robinson. Katie Kidwell, another soft touch dug out by LeBeau as she slides on in. Icabelli saves that one. Another one, Marciniak. Askin down to LeBeau. Set. And they're going to say she went over the net. 21-10 Falcons. 4 points to staying undefeated at home.
And the Bulldogs, the last thing that they can do right now is make errors. And that's exactly what they just did, and the Falcons inching closer.
Over by Walls, just in front of LeBeau. Service, ace. The sophomore libero, Julia Walls. And we're going to see a timeout by head coach of the Butler Bulldogs, Sharon Clark, as that is her final timeout of potentially this match, Adam.
And the Falcons are starting to pull away here at the end, 22-10. And it started off tight here in this set, but again, the Falcons just taking it to another level and playing like winners play.
This goes all back to the errors here, as in this match, or in this set, Butler has committed 5 as opposed to Bowling Green's 4. But the big stat from this set here, 5. 5 service aces by these Bowling Green Falcons. And Butler just continues to reel after having a 1-point lead to start this set off. But other than that first set, just haven't looked good. Haven't
played up to the Falcons' level. The Falcons were able to find that late in that first set. They were able to drill it in the second set. And Butler was able to take it back up in the third back in the third set and the start of this set, but the Falcons just finding that groove, finding that pace that they need to be at, and it's working out real good right now. They're more than doubling up Butler as they have a chance to win it here in as early as 3 serves now.
And coming out of that set timeout, you still have Askin, Katie Kidwell. That's Petra Androva on the far side next to Kidwell. You have Isabel Marciniak, Paulina Icabelli, and Walls serves up and over. Dug out by the Falcons. And Isabel Marciniak just could not rebound that ball as the Bulldogs look to get a little bit of momentum back in this game. Walls is out there cheering her team on, trying to just keep her team in it. LeBeau, the libero, up, over, dug out by Icabelli. Marciniak up. And Androva just tries to drill it down, but unfortunately isn't able to do it. She gets another try, blocked at the net by coming into this day's leading blocker for the Bulldogs, Brooke Gregory, the senior from Brownsburg, Indiana.
And Butler really was ecstatic after that block.
LeBeau sends it up and over, dug out by Askin. Askin sends it back over, dug out by LeBeau. Little bit of catch here. Blocked to the net by Kidwell. Number 7, Brittany Robinson tried, but Kidwell said, no, nothing weak's getting over my net.
Welcome to the block party.
Petra Androva's going to go ahead step out. Kirsty Shaw, who's had a couple great serves tonight, is going to go ahead step in, try to close it out here for the Falcons. All smiles on that bench, Kirsty Shaw. Up, over. Stays in, dug out by number 9, Anna Logan. Blocked at the net, but still goes over, dug out by Walls. Askin, nice little tip there. And she can't save it as number 4, Megan Ramseyer, tried to get in there. And we are at match point here in the Stroh Center here at Bowling Green State University as the Falcons look to take this match. Kirsty Shaw. Looking up, over, into the net. Perhaps a little bit of a jitter there by Kirsty Shaw. And it's going to be number 13, Megan Sheridan, back there to try to keep the Bulldogs alive.
I think Butler has no timeouts remaining, so this is it for them.
Of course, at this point, they need to play absolutely flawless volleyball here and
no
beat
room
these
for
Falcons.
Error.
No
Nope.
room at all. If they lose, Falcons win. Dug out by Walls. Marciniak. Kidwell with the strike. Right in front of Megan Sheridan. These Falcons, on the night they raised the banner, continue to show why they get to raise a banner, as they are going to take it from the Bulldogs here in 3 sets. 3 sets to 1.
A great performance by the Falcons after that slow start, and they're able to remain concentrated, remain focused, and now it's all smiles for the Falcons side, and off to a great start here in this tournament. They still got one more game to go, but right now they're looking really good at home.
And they're
real
all
good.
Clapping out there. Coach Tomich is all smiles. All the staff for the Falcons are all smiles as they're going to get ready to go and cheer it up with the Falcon faithful who have been here all night and been loud. All smiles for these Falcons. What was the big thing you think for the Falcons to come out of here with this victory?
Well, the biggest thing that I saw was the cleanup and the errors that they made to start off the game versus how they finished the game. It was the errors that really put them behind, whether it's offensive and defensive errors, that really put them behind to start the game. So we got the stats here, thank you very much. And they were able to clean that up at the end of the first set, and they just continued rolling on through there. They found their groove, they were able to hit it, and they were able to take it to Butler here tonight, and they looked real good in those last 4 sets.
Absolutely.
Last three sets, rather.
And these Falcons just played dominantly, led behind, obviously. The leader in kills for this team tonight was Petra Androva with 20, she had 29 attempts, but leading the way was Caitlin Meyer. Caitlin Meyer had a huge impact on this game. She led the team with 17 kills, 54 in total, though, for these Bowling Green Falcons. And so far, undefeated at home. That's not a bad way to start the season so far, Adam.
And especially the way that they've looked in the vast majority of the sets has been very impressive. And again, they got one more game left to go here in this Invitational. They got Cleveland State tomorrow at 2 p.m. But if the Falcons continue to play that the way they played at home, the challenge is going to be if they continue to play this way on the road. Of course, it's too early to see whether whether that'll happen or not. But the Falcons did look really good after that slow start here tonight. So, anything else to add to this?
Well, the big thing is looking towards tomorrow's game. The Cleveland State Vikings aren't going to be pushovers.
Nope.
Saw today against Charlotte, they looked really good too, as I think they swept Charlotte just before the Bowling Green game aired here. So it's going to be a great game tomorrow. Tomorrow you can listen in, of course, to that game through Falcon Radio, as I believe it's Chip Crennan and myself on that call tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
All right, that is it for tonight. Before we go, we would like to send out a few thank yous. Jim Barnes, Chief Technical Director of 88.1 WBGU and Falcon Radio. Thanks to you. Dr. Rick Bussell, the Chairman of Media Production and Studies Department at BGSU. Dr. Jim Faust, the Chairman of BGSU Journalism Department. Phil Besked, the Faculty Advisor of 88.1 FM WBGU and Falcon Radio. Bob Bortel, the Director of All Student Media Organizations for BG Falcon Media. Kyle Edmond, and the Butler Bulldogs Athletic Communications staff. Thanks to all of you. And thank you to you, Zach. It's been a pleasure broadcasting with you. This has been a presentation of Bowling Green Athletics. For more information, go to BG Falcon Athletics schedules, news, and other information. Please visit BGSUFalcons.com. This has been a presentation of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. For a schedule and up-to-date broadcast information, be sure to find us on Twitter and Facebook with the username BGRSO. Log into BGFalconMedia.com on the BGRSO tab to find a complete broadcast schedule, programming guide, broadcaster biographies, and news on Falcon athletics. For my broadcast partner, Zach Smith, I am Adam Gall here at BGRSO, signing off here at the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. We thank you for tuning in wherever you may be listening. Final score, Falcons 3, Butler 1. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody, and